What's good, y'all? Welcome to the Depot interview portion. We got Nemo Scales on the line. He is one of our newest additions to the Depot. We've had Nemo since we started, but the Depot is fairly new, so newest addition to the team. So Nemo, tell us about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, bro. My name is Nemo with Scale Society. I grew and ran my brand up to 106 figures, and now I currently help other clothing brand owners do the same thing.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this, like on your own?
I've been running my own clothing brand for about 4 to 5 years, and
Okay.
then I naturally transitioned into the marketing side, which is helping other clothing brand owners do the same thing.
Okay, nice. So you're basically the cheat code to the clothing brands, basically.
You can say something like that.
Okay, bro. So tell me a little bit more about really kind of like what got you into the clothing brands because the audience wants to know that whoever's going to be running their ads is somebody that knows a lot about the space. So tell us a little bit more about like what got you interested into the clothing brand world and yeah.
Yeah, bro. So I've always been into fashion as a kid, and it's just something that I'm naturally always gravitated towards. And so naturally, man, I saw other people running their own clothing brands, and I thought, why not me?
Absolutely. And so when you said why not me, what kind of actionable steps did you take to get to the point to where you were on par of making 100K a month?
Yeah, bro. So I think a lot of brand owners, they like to focus on the designing part, more of the photography part,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't focus on the business side of things.
Right.
And so once I realized that running a brand isn't just about having a good time, but it's also about running a business,
Mm.
that's when my brand really just shot up to the sky.
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. So, what do you think it was that helped you get to 100K a month? Because, bro, 100K is a lot of money for a clothing brand owner. So, to me, that's like you've reached the gold standard of what it means to properly get to the point to where you're scaling your brand and it can go above and beyond. So, what helped you really get to that 100K?
Yeah, bro, I think it's really just like I said before, it's really just focusing on the business side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Going to my point before, a lot of people who start clothing brands, they like to only focus on the designing part, the photography part. So I really think it's just focusing on the business part, which is more like the fulfillment part, maybe running ads, and how you're actually getting your product out to your customers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so I think that's good that you said that because this is just more information for, future members of the depot. Like not only are you getting someone specialized to run your ads, but you also specialize in understanding how you need to be doing your fulfillment. All of the fundamental things that a clothing brand owner could be confused about. It seems as if even talking with you, you have all of that knowledge just for any skeptical people that want to join the program.
Yeah, bro, I think it's one of those things that if just like with any other business, not even clothing brands, if you have the right systems and structure behind what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
you're always going to have a successful business. And it's the same for clothing brands.
I agree, bro. I agree. So, what made you join or want to join the Depot? Because there clearly are a bunch of other creative teams. So, this type of partnership is kind of a special partnership. What was it about the Depot that made it like, yeah, I want to join with these guys?
Yeah, bro. So going to my point from the beginning, it was one of those things that I truly was making money, but I truly wanted to help other clothing brand owners achieve
Absolutely.
the same success that I did. And once I found the depot, I realized that I can definitely make that come true by joining up with the depot.
Absolutely. And we just did an interview with Trust a few days ago, and the audience doesn't know this, but you are the brains behind Trust's success, being that he got to 10K in the first month. Kind of tell me a little bit more about what were your initial thoughts going into Trust? Because Trust told us that he was a little bit scared. He was a little bit scared doing this. This was his first time. Tell me a little bit more about how you were feeling and basically the confidence that you had behind his product.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So going back to my point, like just through and in and out with my experience, I understood that it's all the same concept with clothing brand owners. And I think in terms of trust being a little skeptical into spending money on ads maybe or anything, that's totally reasonable because there's a lot of people out here who truly just want to take your money and run away with it.
Right.
So that's what I think.
Absolutely. So just explain to the audience a little bit more about your role at the depot. Like, because when they come in, you know, of course we handle their creatives, but you are the brains, the structure, the spine of the brand. Tell us a little bit more about what all you provide in basically the full service.
Yeah, so I provide many things. My main thing is running ads. But at the same time, like I said from the beginning, I come with a lot of experience
Right.
with running my own clothing brand that I grew to past six figures.
Right.
And so that's what I basically do. I don't just run ads. I tell you what creatives work. I tell you little things like the website. So just all around, I'm going to make sure and ensure that your clothing brand succeeds.
Yeah, and to add on to what you said, those, in my opinion, are some of the confusion points of a brand owner. You know, is my website good enough? Am I doing all of these intricate things right? Because you tell me if I'm wrong, those can be make or break when it comes to a brand. Like if your website's not good, you can't perform well.
Yeah, bro. So, like I said, going back to my point from the beginning, a lot of people with ads, they think that they're just going to put their money on ads and that their brand is going to grow in that way. But what people fail to realize is it's a whole system that comes together. So you can have the best ads that you have, but if you don't have a good website, nobody's going to buy off those ads. And same for little things like website, maybe content. So it all just comes together in that manner.
Right. So it's basically like every cylinder has to be, if we're thinking about it like it's an engine, every cylinder has to be going at the same time, doing their jobs for it to basically work. Because there are some people that are skeptical, like, will this work for me? You know, say I'm a random clothing brand owner and I come across this video, they're going to ask themselves, will this work for me? And so it's good hearing from you, like, you will have full confidence in knowing that this is a complete system and that each cylinder will be running when you come and work with us.
Yeah, man, I'm very confident in what I do. And that's not just confidence in research, that's confidence in experience. Absolutely. And so it's just one of those things, man, like, it's not just clothing brands, but it's any business that people will come in very skeptical. And it's about knowing the right people who can actually provide the systems to make your brand reach that type of money that you're striving for.
I agree, bro. I agree 100%. So what do you think, just for the audience, just to see if they can kind of relate to this, what do you think personally is the number one thing that clothing brands struggle with?
That's a great question. And I think it's just focusing too much on the visual side of things, whether their design is looking really good, whether the videos that they produce are looking really good. I think a lot of clothing brand owners struggle with the business side of things, actually just understanding, right? Because they can make maybe $80 off an order, but off that $80, they're not profiting $80, right? They may have to spend $30 for the hoodie for fulfillment, maybe ads, $10. So it's just a lot that goes into it that people fail to realize.
Yeah, so it's fair to say that a clothing brand owner naturally wants to focus on making sure that they have the best product, the best marketing for their product. They just naturally want to do that. But they get too tied up into that. And so you put so much energy and effort into the creative side, but you don't have anything on the business side. So your creativity basically never converts to real money.
Exactly. So, and that's basically what it is. Like, people fail to realize, like, there's so much that goes into it because it's a business at the end of the day. Right. And so you want your business to reach those higher levels. And people tend to focus on whether the design looks too good, too much, but they fail to realize that you can make money on the business side, if that makes sense.
No, that makes 100% sense. So I got a few more questions for you. Let's see, because some of it you've already gone over. What message do you have for clothing brand owners that are watching this?
Well, if you have a dream, then make sure that you carry on with it. Don't give up on your dream because other people tell you that you can't do it. If you want to start your clothing brand and you want it to be successful, ensure that you actually make that dream come true, because nobody's coming to save you but yourself.
Absolutely, I agree. So I got somewhat of a hot topic. There are a lot of brand owners that are very skeptical about ads. And that could be because they are just misinformed or they have had bad experiences with other ad agencies. And so what do you want to say to those clients? Why do you feel like most people get burned when, they don't have the right team running their ads?
Oh, that's a great question. And I personally think that a lot of people get burned just due to the fact that the people that they may have worked with don't truly care about ensuring that their brand reaches a level that they want to. And that's a big thing over here at the Depot that I want to tell everyone, which is when you come to the Depot, you're going to be taken care of on all aspects.
Absolutely, bro. That's good advice. So my last question for you is, how does having a team like the Depot behind you change the way the ads work for the clothing brand owners? So what is it specifically about the Depot that makes your ads run really good?
Yeah, bro. So over here at the Depot, we have pretty much a killer team. We have you, Bash Benzo, doing all the creatives and ensuring that every creative and every vision that you have as a clothing brand owner actually comes to life. And that's exactly what pairs and connects with my side of things. Because going back to my point with ads, it's not just putting money on the ads and thinking your brand's going to blow up. It's a whole system to it. And so you need people like Bash Benzo and things like that to really ensure that the ads actually push.